So I apologize, I got a phone call right as we started to cool down from the last video. So I will continue our cool down now. We are seated. We have legs extended in front of us, moving into staff pose, Dandasana. Toes are flexing back toward us. Hands are pressing into the mat. Chest is reaching forward, shoulder blades gently drawing together, gazing forward. Pressing down into those palms, gently taking a little bit of weight off of the spine here. Then gently releasing back into the sitting bones, arms reach overhead. And we'll hinge forward, moving into Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. Hands resting down at any point on the legs, or reaching to the ankles of the feet, or if you have a strap, you can loop the strap around the balls of the feet. The focus of this pose is keeping the legs straight and gently hinging the torso forward, feeling the beautiful stretch of the backs of the legs. You can gently keep walking forward, trying to maintain length in the spine here as the chest and heart gently reach down toward the knees. Your forehead can gently round down toward the knees. And just stay here for a few beautiful deep breaths. Maybe gently extending with your inhale. And maybe finding a little more depth as you exhale. 2 more breaths here. And gently walking the hands back. Torso coming back up over hips. We'll bend our left leg, bring the sole of the left foot to the mat, and then cross the left leg over to the right side of the mat. Your right leg can stay extended here, or if you'd like, you can bend it, bend the knee and sweep that right foot to the outside of that left hip. Both feet are pressing into the mat, and the left hip presses down into the mat. Left fingertips will release behind the back, chest and heart forward. You can either cradle the knee here, or if you'd like to lift the arm and gently turn the torso, hooking that knee to the outside of that, or the elbow to the outside of the left knee. Continually maintaining length in the spine here. And then gently turning through that middle thoracic spine. We'll take 2 breaths here. Maybe you continue to turn a little deeper, or maybe you stay where you are. Your head can turn and gently look over that left shoulder if that feels right for you. And then we'll gently bring the torso through center and over to the right side of your mat. Hands firmly pressing here. Coming onto that hip, extending the right leg. So we're turning onto the side of this right hip. Your right hand is underneath your right shoulder, the elbow is bent. We're moving into baby grasshopper here. Your left arm will reach in front of your knee and reach down for either your big toe with the peace fingers and thumbs or the outside of that right foot. Your back of your left arm presses against that left knee. Right hand is under the shoulder. Your gaze comes forward about 12 inches. And maybe you lift the hips off the mat. Just rock back and forth here. Continue to maintain that length in the spine. And maybe the hip will lift. This is a beautiful arm balancing posture. And it's accessible to most of us. You can also use a strap here, looping the strap around the foot, and then holding the strap as close to the foot as you can with your left hand. You can stay here as long as you'd like, but when you're ready, we'll come back up. We'll uncross the left leg back to the mat, find both sitting bones on the mat. Then bend this right leg, bring the sole of the right foot to the mat, and lifting and crossing it over to the left. All 4 corners of that right foot press into the mat, extending through the spine. You can stay here with the left leg extended, or you can bend that left leg and sweep the foot to the outside of that right hip. Gently press the right hip back into the mat. Right fingertips will come behind you. They're pointing to the back of the room. Inhale and reach that arm overhead. And either cradle the knee as you twist, or you can bring the elbow to the outside of the knee, really hooking and extending. Inhale and find length here. And exhale, gently turn to the back of the room. Taking 2 breaths here. This is Ardha Matsyendrasana. breath. Then gently bringing hands around to the opposite side of the mat, pressing firmly here and counter twisting the spine. We'll extend that left leg back to the front of the room and turn over onto the left hip. Left hand is under the shoulder, arm is bent like a chaturanga. Right arm reaches in front of that right knee and grabs either the foot or the toe. Then coming onto the hip, pressing firmly into left hand and right foot, taking the gaze forward, maybe lifting the hips off of the mat here in baby grasshopper. Your belly draws in and up here. You can release and lift as much as you'd like. Then we'll come back to the front of the room. Bend the knees and lower all the way down onto the mat. Letting the knees gently open to the sides of the room, soles of the feet coming together in this reclining bound angle pose. Hands reaching out to the sides of the room. Taking a deep breath. Gently reaching down and bringing the knees together. We'll lift the right leg and cross it over the left, so knees are stacked on top of each other. You can stay right here just squeezing the thighs together, or you can lift that left foot off the mat. Reaching up, grabbing onto either your just below the knee, or maybe if you can hold on to the ankles. You want the feet to be flexed here, and you want the spine and the shoulders to be on the mat. This is reclining cow face pose, Supta Gomukhasana. Eventually we want the ankles to be in the same position on each side of the leg. This is a pretty deep stretch, but if you'd like to draw the knees a little closer to the chest for a little more stretch here, trying to keep those shoulders on the mat and the low spine on the mat. Then gently releasing your left foot back to the mat. Uncross the right leg, straightening it up toward the ceiling. And then bend that right leg and bring sole of the right foot to the mat. We'll lift the left knee and cross it directly over the right, squeezing the thighs together here. You can stay right here. This is a beautiful place. Or if you'd like to lift that right foot off the mat, both feet are flexed here. And then reaching for either your shins or your ankles. Try and draw the knees back toward the chest gently, but keeping your shoulders and low spine on the mat. Try to move the feet to the same position on opposite sides of the legs, but keep those feet flexed to protect your knees. Then gently release the right foot back to the mat. Extend the left leg up toward the ceiling. And bend that knee, release the foot to the mat. Draw both knees gently into the chest. Drawing knees back, low spine and shoulders on the mat. Then opening knees wider than the hips here. Feet are flexed. Beautiful. Moving into our happy baby, we'll lift the soles of the feet up, knees stay bent, reaching up for either the big toes with the peace fingers and thumbs, or you can hold on to the inside or outside of the feet, whatever feels better for you. Your feet are actively pressing into your hands as your knees draw down toward the pits of the arms. Low spine is on the mat here. You can sway back and forth here in your happy baby if you'd like. You can extend one leg at a time or both legs. If you'd like to extend both legs up to the ceiling for active reversal pose, or maybe even move into a shoulder stand if that's in your practice. If you're moving into that shoulder stand, really focus your awareness on hips over shoulders and feet in line with shoulders and hips. Protecting the neck if you let the feet fall back into plow pose. Just taking whatever last movements your body needs and then letting one foot at a time gently find the mat. We'll extend our legs to the front of the room, mat distance apart. Let the toes gently roll open. Tuck the shoulder blades a little closer together. Your arms are down the length of the body with the palms up. And we'll bring our awareness back to the breath. As you inhale, feel the chest and belly rise. And as you exhale, feel every point that your body's touching your mat. Continue with your breath. But let the muscles in your body gently melt to the mat. Let the earth draw you down firmly to the mat. Letting go of any thoughts. Letting go of any tension in the body. Just focusing over and over on your breath. Staying in your Shavasana as long as you would like. When you're ready, gently bringing your feet together. Reaching your arms out to the sides of the room and then gently overhead. Maybe interlacing your hands and extending the interlaced knuckles toward the back of the room. Pointing the feet and taking one long stretch through the entire body. Then gently releasing the arms and bending one knee at a time, sole of the foot coming to the mat. Lifting the spine and pressing that low spine on the mat. Drawing one knee at a time to the chest. Flexing both feet, low spine on the mat. Maybe gently drawing knees to chest, maybe wrapping the hands around the knees. And taking opposite wrists here. Maybe opening your knees wider than your hips. Maybe rocking back and forth here on the spine. And when you're ready, gently rolling to the right, coming into that beautiful fetal position. Head resting on the right hand. Maybe taking a couple of breaths here, just gently letting the body be ready to come back to real life. And then using your left hand to press yourself up. We'll come back into easy pose at the top of the mat. Crossing the legs. Rocking back and forth on the sitting bones. Shoulders drawing back. Hands coming to heart center. Gently lowering your gaze. We'll take 3 breaths here together. Inhale through the nose. I hope that we can all take time for ourselves, for our hearts, for our minds, for our souls, and come onto our mats, whether it's with me or with one of the other beautiful yogis from the studio. I know Signe Adams has a YouTube channel, and Debbie Bannon also has a beautiful YouTube channel. Take this time during these crazy, uncertain times just to find a little bit of peace throughout your day. Thank you for joining me today. As always, the light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.